cataclysmic underwater landslide, triggered by unprecedented tectonic activity off the coast of Greenland, has birthed a mega tsunami. Satellites are observing a massive wave, larger than any ever recorded, barreling toward coastlines around the globe. Within the hour, a towering wall of water, predicted to reach hundreds of feet in height, will obliterate the eastern coasts of North and South America, Western Europe, and Africa. Smaller but still devastating waves will ripple outwards, impacting coastal communities worldwide. News outlets broadcast frantic evacuation orders, but the scope of the disaster overwhelms infrastructure. The world watches in horror as the unstoppable force of nature bears down on civilization.
The sheer scale of this thing is just beyond anything we've ever seen. We're talking about a mega tsunami. We're not talking about a few feet of water crashing onto the beach. We're talking about a wall of water propelled by unprecedented forces, heading our way at what the experts are saying is jet engine speeds now. I know it sounds like something out of a movie, but I assure you, the data coming in from multiple sources paints a very grim picture. But you may be asking, why is this tsunami so different? Why isn't it losing energy as it crosses the Atlantic like tsunamis usually do? Well, it has to do with the nature of the Atlantic basin. Unlike the Pacific, which is deeper and wider, the Atlantic is more contained. Think of it like a bathtub versus a swimming pool. The energy of this wave generated by that colossal underwater landslide off the coast of Greenland, and we're talking about a landslide that displaced a staggering amount of seafloor, triggered by what they're calling unprecedented tectonic activity. Well, that energy is being channeled, amplified by the shape of the basin. The wave itself is being focused and concentrated, and the scientists are saying the depth of the Atlantic is actually helping it to maintain its speed and power because the pressure at those depths is immense. And it's essentially acting like a pressure cooker against the energy of the wave, preventing it from dissipating as quickly. It's almost as if the ocean itself is conspiring to deliver this monster right to our doorsteps. As for satellite imagery, and I wish I could show you this, but it's all over the internet. The images are absolutely terrifying. This isn't a ripple. This is a giant leviathan of water, and the data indicates that this is the biggest wave ever recorded in human history. And it's not just us here on the east coast of the United States that are in the crosshairs. Canada, Central, and South America are facing the same threat. And it's not just the Americas either. An equally devastating wave is racing east towards Western Europe and Northwestern Africa. So we're talking about a truly global event. And the experts are now suggesting that virtually every coastline in the world will feel the effects of this tsunami. We're hearing reports that this wave will be powerful enough to completely obliterate coastal cities. And I know that's hard to process, but we have to be realistic and we have to be prepared. And right now, the authorities are urging everyone along the East Coast to evacuate, to get out, and to get out right now. And that is proving to be a nightmare. I'm looking at live traffic cameras in the I-95 corridors, the parking lot. I'm hearing from listeners stuck in gridlock stretching for miles upon miles. We've got reports coming in from Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts that the Merritt Parkway is completely jammed heading south. The situation is even worse. The New Jersey Turnpike is at a standstill. They're saying anyone heading west is seeing bumper-to-bumper traffic and delays of up to 5 hours. Route 17 in New York is looking like a parking lot, with reports of accidents adding to the chaos, and the panic is palpable. People are abandoning their cars, trying to find higher ground on foot. And the highways are becoming pedestrian walkways filled with desperate families carrying what they can. The situation is deteriorating rapidly, and frankly, it's terrifying. Now, as for us here at the studio, thankfully, we are safe. Not that makes this any easier to report on, but projected inundation maps based on the current wave models suggest the tsunami could reach anywhere between 20 to 50 miles inland in certain low-lying areas. That is insane. That's the kind of devastation we're potentially facing. Your typical tsunami might reach a few blocks inland, a few hundred feet, but this is on an entirely different scale. Places like the Outer Banks of North Carolina, the Florida Keys, large swathes of coastal New Jersey and Long Island, these are going to be hit the hardest. Our location is approximately 60 miles inland, putting us just outside the projected impact zone. And believe me, we wouldn't be broadcasting if we weren't confident in our safety. Now, we're going to go over to our eye in the sky, which is hovering somewhere, I don't know exactly where, but somewhere close to the coast. And it's just to get an idea of what it is they're seeing down below. And so let's go over to them now. Hey guys, are you there?
Yo, what up, y'all? We be the eye in the sky, and we bringing you the latest on what in the hell be going on down below on that beautiful and soon-to-be aquatic landscape. The scenes we be witnessing right now from above be crazy. There's thousands of people trying to flee in all directions, some by car, some on foot. We even got one dude just sitting on a surfboard waiting for the wave. But it's a crazy-looking scene for real, and it's only gonna get more insane. In an hour from now, all them people could be replaced by dolphins. And that's the sad reality of the situation. Instead of a stream of yellow cabs making their way down Fifth Avenue, we might be talking about a herd of jellyfish instead.
Okay, are you seeing any signs of the wave itself? Any indication of its arrival?
Well, all I know is the seagulls ain't hanging around, so they know something is up. They sense shit. That just be seagulls, man. They smart. But as for the ocean itself, I can see absolutely no change whatsoever. It's just doing its thing. Hanging out by the beach, rolling in, rolling out. The usual routine. So, yeah, the only frightening thing I can see, besides the mass exodus of hysterical individuals, is what appears to be some dude wearing socks with Crocs. If that ain't a sign of the end times, I don't know what is.
Okay, and we've heard reports of civil unrest breaking out in certain areas, looting, rioting, things of that nature. Are you seeing any evidence of that down below?
Oh, hell yeah. Some people really be taking advantage of the situation for real, making the best of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This tsunami provides the perfect cover to commit acts of violence, theft, rioting, and general mayhem, so there ain't no way my homie's gonna be passing up on an opportunity like that. And actually, I like to take this opportunity to say what up to my boys, Skinny G, Ricky Dicky D, Fatso Murphy, DJ Turkey, Slurpy Dog, the Ostrich Mob, and last but not least, my mama. Keep it real, y'all. And if you be taking part in any of that rioting and looting, I want to make it very clear that I do not condone it. But in saying that, please do keep an eye out for a sick pair of sneakers for your boy DJ if the opportunity be presenting itself.
All right, well, please don't do that. We do not condone criminal activity of any kind, regardless of the circumstances. And this is a difficult enough situation as it is, so please behave accordingly. And you as well, DJ, please don't encourage people to engage in irresponsible behavior.
Oh, come on.
Okay, anyway, I understand that you guys are planning to stay in the air as this tsunami approaches. So please be careful, guys. Obviously, keep an eye on your fuel and obviously your altitude, because this wave is predicted to reach incredible heights. So please just be careful.
Now listen, don't you be worrying your cute little head about it. This is a chopper full of highly trained amateur professionals who think we know what we be doing. So yeah, we're gonna hang out up here and chill for a bit, and we're gonna get some incredible footage from the safety and comfort of our luxury whirly bird. We got a whole bunch of snacks and a variety of dips. We got buffalo chicken dip, chili dip, garlic dip, cheesy dip, onion dip, a whole range of different dippy shit. We're about to do another round of shots too, so spirits be high, and we're gonna be bringing all y'all some insane footage from above as this big wet salty monstrosity do a demolition job on the world below. But it's crazy to think that in less than an hour from now we're gonna be getting bombarded with kamikaze dolphins, projectile jellyfish, squid missiles traveling at the speed of a jet engine. I mean, forget about the wave. What concerns me most is the possibility of a swordfish being catapulted through the air at over 700 miles an hour. That pointy-faced little shit could penetrate metal, that metal being our chopper. So I'm just praying they stay clear of us and find someone else to impale.
Okay. Thank you, DJ, for that. Whatever that was, we are going to check in again on you guys around about the time the wave hits land. So once again, stay safe, and we'll speak then. Thank you.
Shit, I just spilled Hennessy all over the control panel.
Well, apologies to our listeners. I have no idea what was going on there, but we will be going back to our eye in the sky shortly, and hopefully they will be taking this whole thing a bit more seriously, because that was shameful behavior, and once again, we apologize for that.
This is a nationwide emergency alert system message.
This message is being issued by the National Weather Service and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. A tsunami warning is in effect for the entire east coast of the United States. A significant seismic event has occurred in the Atlantic Ocean, generating a tsunami of unprecedented scale. Analysis indicates that this tsunami is projected to reach the east coast within the hour. Model projections suggest the wave will reach heights of hundreds of feet upon landfall. Widespread and catastrophic damage is expected along the coastline. This is not a drill. This is a life-threatening situation. This warning encompasses all coastal areas of the United States along the Atlantic Ocean, from Maine to Florida. Specific areas at particularly high risk include, but are not limited to, coastal communities in Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Instructions. Mandatory evacuation. If you are within 50 miles of the coastline, you must evacuate immediately. Move inland. Proceed inland as quickly as possible away from the coast to a distance of at least 50 miles. The farther inland you go, the better your chances of survival. Seek higher ground. If you are unable to evacuate inland, immediately seek the highest ground available. This could include tall buildings, natural hills, or specially designated tsunami evacuation zones. Do not assume any location near the coast is safe. Use reliable transportation. Use any means necessary to evacuate. Cars, buses, trains, bicycles, or simply walk. Prioritize speed and distance from the coast. Assist others. If you are able, assist elderly, disabled, or vulnerable individuals in your community to evacuate. Monitor official channels. Stay tuned to radio weather updates, local television and radio stations, and official government websites for updated information and instructions. Mobile alerts will be sent out as available, but network congestion is likely. If you are unable to evacuate before the wave arrives, take the following actions. Seek vertical evacuation. If possible, find a sturdy, multi-story building and move to the highest floor possible. Reinforce your position as best you can. Acquire something that floats. If you are caught in the wave, attempt to grab onto a floating object, such as a log, a door, an empty container, or anything that can keep you afloat. Protect your head from debris by covering it with your arms or using any available object for protection. Stay calm. While extremely difficult, try to remain as calm as possible. Panic will only hinder your ability to survive. Post-tsunami. After the initial wave, be aware that the danger is not over. Multiple waves may occur, and the first wave may not be the largest. Wait for an official all clear from authorities before returning to coastal areas. Stay away from damaged areas. Avoid entering damaged buildings or areas affected by the tsunami. There may be hidden dangers such as structural instability, downed power lines, and contaminated water. Check for injuries. Administer first aid if possible and seek professional medical attention as soon as it is safe to do so. Report damage. Report any damage or injuries to local authorities. Conserve resources. Conserve water, food, and other supplies. This is a catastrophic event. Your life depends on taking immediate action. Mandatory evacuation order in effect. Evacuate immediately from the coast. Seek higher ground. This concludes this emergency alert system broadcast.
And we are back. So welcome back, everybody. That was the third emergency alert system broadcast. We've been interrupted in the last hour as this mega tsunami races toward our eastern seaboard. And as the alert stated, it is expected to hit very, very shortly. We're also getting reports, and this is coming in live as we speak, that the leading edge of the tsunami has been sighted off the northeast coast of Canada, and initial estimates suggest it's going to impact that area within the next 10 minutes.
That's just absolutely surreal to hear that.
It is. It really is. I mean, we're talking about a wave, and I use that term very loosely because this thing is on a scale we've never seen approaching the Canadian coast at what can only be described as jet engine speeds.
It's impossible to get your head around, isn't it? Just unbelievable.
It really is. Unbelievable is an understatement, and we have satellite images here. And they are, frankly, terrifying. The sheer scale of this thing is, well, it's apocalyptic, to put it mildly. There's pure panic along the coastline, not just here in the United States, but in Canada, across Western Europe, Western Africa, even down into South America as this thing radiates outwards in all directions.
Yeah, it's crazy. If you haven't seen the images already, check them out online. It's insane. I can't find a better word for it.
Insane is a pretty accurate description, I would say. Evacuations are underway everywhere, but the sad truth is, for many, it's going to be too late because this tsunami is not playing by the rules. Canada and Iceland are going to get hit first. And as you know, this whole disaster originates from a massive underwater landslide off the coast of Greenland due to significant seismic activity. Landslides of this magnitude are extremely rare, and Canada and Iceland, being the closest land masses, are in the immediate firing line of this monster.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrifying, and the experts are telling us that countries further afield, and that includes us, will feel the effects of this tsunami just as intensely, even though we are further away from Greenland than Canada and Iceland, and in fact, we could be dealt an even bigger blow.
Yeah, I've been hearing that, and I can sort of understand the science of it, but I think you're better at explaining these things than me.
Yeah, well, I'm no expert, but I am a bit of a nerd, so normally a tsunami dissipates as it travels across the ocean. The energy spreads out, the wave height decreases, but this is very different. The experts are telling us that this particular tsunami is interacting with the unique bathymetry. I hope I said that right. Of the Atlantic Ocean in a way that actually amplifies its power. So imagine the ocean floor as a giant submerged lens. Well, this landslide in Greenland has generated a wave with a particular wavelength, and as that wave travels, it's encountering underwater ridges and trenches that are focusing its energy like sunlight through a magnifying glass. So it's not just maintaining its power, it's actually building an intensity as it crosses the Atlantic. And so we have a situation where instead of dissipating, this tsunami is being refined and accelerated, becoming a monstrous ocean-spanning engine of destruction. And that's why the scientific models suggest that the east coast of the United States will in fact experience a bigger wave, potentially multiple bigger waves than those initially hitting Canada. I hope that kind of explains it.
Yeah, I think I get it. So Canada is basically going to give us a glimpse of what we could experience.
Exactly. The wave that hits Canada, while devastating in its own right, will give us a grim preview of the level of destruction we can expect here on the East Coast, and it will be a brutal and immediate indicator of what is coming. The impact there will give authorities and emergency services on the East Coast a small window to react, although with a wave traveling at such speed, any reaction will be severely compromised. But yeah, it's the unique geological features of the Atlantic Ocean floor, coupled with the sheer scale of the initial landslide that has created this perfect storm, so to speak. And so yeah, it feels surreal, doesn't it? I mean, sometimes you question, is this actually happening?
You certainly do. I've pinched myself a number of times just to test if this is really happening, because the word apocalyptic is being thrown around a lot, and I really don't like that word. It just scares me.
In a movie, I like it. In real life, not so much.
Exactly. Now, we're preparing to go over to the White House, where the president is scheduled to speak any minute now. So as soon as we have confirmation of that, we will cut over to that. So sit tight. Don't go anywhere so long as it's safe to stay where you are, of course, and evacuation is not necessary. And to those trying to evacuate, our thoughts and prayers are with you. I cannot possibly imagine the fear you must be feeling right now. But yeah, we hope you will get to your destination safely and know that the nation as a whole is with you and thinking of you. So
yeah, I mean, I know it's easy for me to say being where I am here in the studio far from the coast, but try and stay calm. Panicking will not help the situation. Use your best judgment. If it's best to abandon your vehicle and just walk, then do that. And Yeah, just do whatever you think is the right
Sorry
thing.
to cut across you, Emma. We have confirmation. So we're going over now to the White House, where the president is about to address the nation. So let's listen to what he has to say.
My fellow Americans, our great nation is facing an unprecedented natural disaster, the likes of which we have never seen before. Just hours ago, seismic activity off the coast of Greenland triggered a massive underwater landslide. This event has unleashed a tsunami of record proportions, and it is currently barreling towards our east coast at jet engine speeds. It is predicted to make impact very, very shortly, and I won't lie, it's going to be devastating, absolutely devastating. A wave or multiple waves, hundreds of feet in height, are going to obliterate our coastline. Absolutely obliterate it, but we are doing everything we can to evacuate people all along the coast as far as 50 miles inland. That's how bad this thing is going to be. So bad that if you're within 50 miles of the coast, you're in danger. And the sad part is, this could have been avoided. It could have all been avoided. If we had gotten Greenland, this never would have happened. It never would have happened because we would have monitored seismic activity in the area and knew this was coming. They said there was no warning. Oh, come on, give me a break. This disaster, which is an understatement, is Denmark's disaster. They neglected Greenland for years. They did nothing with it. Imagine what I could have done with the track record I have. It's astonishing, but Denmark neglected it. They didn't invest in it. They didn't take care of it. And I hold them solely responsible for what's about to come, because most tragic of all, they didn't monitor what was going on there like we would have. And so Denmark have a lot of apologizing to do, first of all to me for turning down my offer, and secondly to the world. Great job, Denmark. Get your wallets out because you're paying for the cleanup. I can guarantee you that. But first of all, we have to deal with the situation at hand before we deal with them. And the situation is dire, but our response to it has to be strong, resilient, brave like me, and we have to stand united. We have to be ready for whatever is about to come our way. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. People are going to die. A lot of people are going to die. A lot of people simply won't be able to get out in time. There's gridlock all along the coast. If we had been warned, like we should have been, everybody could have been evacuated safely, but time is against us now, and people will die. I will lose a lot of property. Cities are going to be wiped off the map. There probably won't be a Trump Tower after all this, but I will build a new one. That's the thing about me. I do not give in. And you shouldn't either. It's going to be devastating, yes. It's a devastatingly powerful force of nature, yes. But so am I. So stay strong. Keep on moving inland. Get to higher ground. Stop sitting in traffic. If it's not budging, get out of your cars and run. Run. Run like your life depends on it. Because it does. This wave is not waiting around, and you shouldn't be either. This thing is going to hit Canada any second now. Any second, but the wave that hits us will be even bigger. Of course it will be. Canada always gets away lightly, but we're strong, and we will get through it. Every country in the world is going to be affected by this to some extent. Western Europe is going to take an absolute battering, and maybe they won't be able to cope, but we will. It may wipe out cities, towns, streets, and communities all along the coast, but we will rebuild. We'll build better cities, better towns with names like Trumpton or Trump City. That's got a good ring to it, I think you'd all agree, but the bottom line is we're going to be okay. Lives will be lost, yes, and that's very sad. Very, very sad. It breaks my heart, but they will not be forgotten, and life goes on, and so will the great United States of America. So I'm going to leave it there, people. Brace yourselves. Do what you must to survive, and rest assured we will stop at nothing to save every life possible. You do your part, and we'll do ours, And, okay, just one moment, please. All right, so I have just been informed that Canada has been hit. The wave has impacted Canada, so it's not far away now, not far away at all. It's just around the corner. So get ready. This is it. This is it. May God bless America, and thank you.
Wow. Okay, so it's begun. As you've just heard, the wave has impacted Canada. I don't know what area. Details are sketchy, but we can confirm that Canada has become the first victim of this mega tsunami.
You just heard, the mega tsunami has hit Canada. It made landfall in Newfoundland, and early reports are absolutely staggering. The wave on its run up to the shore was recorded at up to 700 feet. That's right, 700 feet, way exceeding initial projections. It is expected to hit St. Pierre very, very shortly, and from there, it's going to whip along the Canadian coast and impact Nova Scotia. And unfortunately, as predicted, the models are showing that the wave won't lose its intensity. In fact, it's likely to be even bigger as it rounds the coast. This is due to the way the energy is focusing and compressing as it navigates the underwater topography, essentially turning the coastline into a natural amplifier. And then from there, it will barrel towards the east coast of the United States, where millions are still trying to evacuate, desperately trying to reach higher ground. And if all that wasn't terrifying enough, we're also getting reports that the wave is picking up speed. We kept hearing about it moving at the speed of a jet engine. Well, apparently it's traveling even quicker now. And the truly terrifying news, we're not just going to be hit by one wave. More waves will follow the first. That's the general consensus, that many waves will follow, potentially even bigger than the first wave. And if Canada got hit by a 700-foot wave, and this thing is expected to intensify, God only knows what we're in for.
It was 700 feet, and a second wave, possibly even bigger, is not far behind, but 700 feet is way beyond what was anticipated. Initial projections were 400 to 500 feet, but a 700-foot wave is not the biggest wave we've ever experienced. I thought this was a record-size wave. But anyway, on July 9th, 1958, a mega tsunami created the biggest wave ever recorded at Lituya Bay in Alaska. A massive wave that measured 1,720 feet. My God, that is insane. Hopefully, we're not going to experience anything like that. But that tsunami was also caused by a landslide. And I'm ashamed to say I'd never even heard of it. That's how well-informed I am. But this tsunami is growing in height. And what's happening is the waves behind the initial surge are building up kind of like an accordion effect. So as the first wave slows down, approaching the coast, the waves behind it are compressing, building higher and higher, focusing all that energy into a smaller space, creating what could be now a wave of up to 1,500 feet when it hits the east coast of the United States.
Where it hit is not an area with a very high population. So that's good. St. Pierre is next on the tsunami hit list. That has a population of about 6,500 or so, which is also very small, and hopefully they've all made it as far west as possible. As for Nova Scotia, that has a population of over 1 million people. So that's a real concern, because after St. Pierre gets hit, Nova Scotia will be next, after which it will collide with the northeastern coast of the United States, potentially a wave up to 1,500 feet in height. And yes, you heard me correctly, 1,500 feet. That is what they're predicting. And so the Northeast is going to feel the impact first. The source of the tsunami is in the North Atlantic. Hence the reason it hit Canada first. And the energy is radiating outwards like ripples in a pond. So the coastline of Maine, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, they will be the first parts of the United States to be impacted as this tsunami swings around the coast of Nova Scotia, intensifying as it does so. Much like a river turning a sharp bend, it will whip around and smash into our eastern coast. Then that energy will continue to spread. It's not just a single point of impact. We're talking about a wave front spanning hundreds and eventually thousands of miles, and that wave is bending and refracting around the curvature of the earth, and that's how we start to see it moving south. So the Carolinas, Georgia, Florida, the southeastern United States will be next in line. And it doesn't stop there. As the wave continues its journey, it will eventually reach Central and South America. Places like the Caribbean islands, Venezuela, Brazil, they will all be affected and heading east as this monster ripples outwards. Western Europe and West Africa are bracing themselves for impact. The scenes there are pretty much the same as here along the east coast of America. People are frantically trying to evacuate as this wave approaches, and fortunately for them, they will have quite a bit more time to get to safety, because the wave will reach there probably an hour, maybe a couple hours, I'm not sure, after it hits us, so that gives them a better opportunity of getting out of the way of this. But initially, this wave was predicted to be a couple of 100 feet in height. Well, that prediction has changed since Canada was impacted, because the wave was 700 feet when it hit the coast, and they're expecting it to be even bigger when it hits us, a lot bigger. So, current estimates suggest it could be up to 1,500 feet. That is just extraordinarily scary. My God.
News just coming through that the wave has hit St. Pierre and Miquelon. The wave was approximately 850 feet in height. That is crazy, and that's not all. Surging in the opposite direction eastwards, the wave has also impacted the west coast of Iceland in the last few minutes. And the reports coming out of there are suggesting it was over 1,000 feet. Unbelievable. We'll have more information on that developing situation as soon as we can. But early reports suggest that Reykjavik, the capital of Iceland, has been completely obliterated, literally swallowed by this wave. I just hope that people got out of there in time and got far enough inland. Reykjavik is about 220 feet above sea level, so no wonder it got swallowed up. That is absolutely terrifying. But anyway, closer to home, the tsunami is on its way to Nova Scotia, and impact is expected there any minute now. It has an average altitude of just 200 feet, whereas the wave could be up on 1,000 feet. So you don't need to be a mathematician to work out that this could cause levels of catastrophic damage and loss of life. I mean, we're talking about a wave that could dwarf entire towns and reshape the landscape in a matter of minutes.
And so we're projecting a wave, or rather a series of waves, I should say, of an estimated height between 1,000 and 1,500 feet. And that's much higher than initially projected. So to put that into perspective, that's taller than the Empire State Building. This thing is a mega tsunami, and its impact will be, to put it mildly, absolutely catastrophic. So what happens when a wall of water of this magnitude hits the eastern seaboard? Well, it's difficult to truly comprehend, but let me paint a picture based on our predictive models. The initial impact will be pulverizing. Anything within a few miles of the coastline will be completely obliterated. Structures, homes, businesses reduced to rubble. The sheer force of the water, carrying debris of all kinds, cars, shipping containers, trees, you name it, will act as a battering ram, compounding the destruction. The inundation will be extensive. We expect the water to surge far inland, potentially reaching tens, even hundreds of miles, depending on the local topography, which is also much further inland than initially projected. And low-lying areas, coastal plains, river valleys, these will be particularly vulnerable. Cities like New York, Boston, Miami, Philadelphia, the damage will be staggering. We're talking about the displacement of millions of people, and the speed of the wave is also critical because while tsunamis travel relatively unnoticed in the deep ocean, as they approach shallow waters they slow down, but their height increases exponentially, and at the point of impact, we're anticipating the wave to be moving at hundreds of miles per hour, so this means there will be virtually no time to react once the wave becomes visible. And as things stand, there is significant gridlock on evacuation routes, and I really need to stress this. If you're in an evacuation zone, you need to act now. Every minute counts. Abandon your belongings, forget the material possessions. Your life is the only thing that matters. Just get to high ground, get as far inland as possible. I know that traffic is a nightmare, and unfortunately that's a predictable outcome, but if you find yourself trapped in gridlock, please listen carefully, abandon your vehicle, just abandon it. Find a sturdy building, preferably one made of reinforced concrete, and get to the highest floor possible. Look for a building that is at least a few stories tall. Try to climb to the roof if possible. And while these are not ideal solutions, they may be your only chance of survival. That's the reality of it. But understand that even if you are in a seemingly safe building, the force of the water will be immense. So hold on tight, find something to anchor yourself to, be prepared for the building to shake violently and possibly even collapse. I also have to stress that this tsunami will not be a singular event. Instead, we should expect multiple waves to hit the coast, each one potentially more destructive than the last. These subsequent waves are known as aftershocks or surges and can occur for several hours after the initial impact. So this means that even if the first wave does not reach your location, there is still a risk of being caught in subsequent waves, and furthermore,
the receding waters will be equally as destructive as the initial surge, because as the water retreats, it will carry with it debris, buildings, vehicles, trees, turning them into lethal projectiles, and the scouring action of the receding water will further destabilize structures and infrastructure, leading to additional collapses and potentially trapping survivors.
Okay, how does this event compare to the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami? I mean, I was just a kid when it happened, but I remember seeing the scale of destruction it caused, and it scared me to death. But how does what we're facing compare to that?
Well, yeah, the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, that event, without question, was a tragedy of unimaginable proportions, and the loss of life was staggering. However, with all due respect to the devastation that occurred then, I must stress that this event will dwarf it to an unfathomable extent. The wave we witnessed in 2004 will appear relatively minor compared to what we are about to experience. And we've already observed catastrophic impacts on the Canadian coastline. And that serves as a harrowing preview of what is to come. The only advantage we have is the limited warning time we have been afforded. But unfortunately, as the hours and minutes tick by, and as this wave radiates outwards across the globe, we must acknowledge the grim reality that the global death toll will inevitably rise, reaching levels that have never been seen before due to a natural disaster. About 228,000 people died as a result of the Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004. But with this one, I fear it could be well into the millions. We are, unfortunately, witnessing a global catastrophe unfold in real time.
And just as you say that Nova Scotia has been hit, the mega tsunami has impacted Nova Scotia. I repeat, the mega tsunami has made landfall in Nova Scotia. This has literally just happened. And early reports are indicating the wave was approximately 1,000 feet in height when it struck, so roughly the same height as the catastrophic tsunami that impacted Iceland not long ago. And reports from there suggest that Reykjavik, the capital of Iceland, is literally gone, been wiped off the map. As for Nova Scotia, information at this point is incredibly difficult to confirm, but we are doing everything we can to bring you accurate details as quickly as possible. The extent of the damage is currently unknown, but we're hearing reports unconfirmed at this time of complete inundation along significant stretches of the coastline. What we do know, based on projections and the initial impact data, is that this wave was traveling at an estimated speed of somewhere in the range of 500 and 550 miles per hour as it approached the coast. That is literally the speed of a commercial airliner, so imagine the sheer force of that volume of water moving at that velocity.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can try and maybe give you an idea of what Nova Scotia would have experienced if those reports are correct. So a tsunami of 1,000 feet in height and travelling at that speed, 550 miles per hour, that is a force of nature that would redefine the coastline and leave an indelible mark on the planet. I mean, first let's consider the sheer mechanics of this. A wave moving at 550 miles per hour isn't just water. It's a wall of kinetic energy. So think of a jet plane skimming just above the ocean surface, but that jet is entirely composed of water, and that water is being propelled forward by the immense force that generated it. Well, now imagine that wall hitting land. At that speed and height, the water wouldn't just wash over everything. It would essentially explode upon impact. And the air pressure alone ahead of the wave would be absolutely staggering, creating a shockwave that would flatten structures miles inland even before the water arrives. So we're talking about winds potentially exceeding the force of an F5 tornado.
Wow, okay, well that's absolutely terrifying. But evidently true because we have footage of the wave as it hits the coast. Look at this, Mark.
Oh my dear Lord, that is
the most insane footage in human history.
I am quite literally speechless.
Yeah, I mean, it's so insane, it doesn't even look real.
Attention, attention. This is an emergency alert system message. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. A tsunami is imminent and will impact the east coast of the United States within the next 10 minutes. This is a matter of life and death. The National Weather Service has issued a tsunami warning. The wave is approaching the coastline now. Immediate action is required to save your life. If you are located along the east coast, from Florida to Maine, you are in imminent danger. Evacuate immediately. Get as far inland as possible. Immediately seek higher ground. Do not hesitate. Every second counts. If you are caught in traffic gridlock or severe congestion, abandon your vehicle. Do not hesitate to leave your car. The vehicle will offer no protection. Flee on foot to higher ground. We repeat, flee on foot to higher ground. Move quickly. This will be the last warning before the tsunami impacts. Repeat, this will be the last warning before the tsunami impacts. The tsunami will impact within minutes. If you cannot reach higher ground inland, seek shelter in the strongest, most reinforced building available. Multi-story concrete or steel frame buildings may offer a degree of protection. Get to the highest floor possible. As a last resort, if you are stuck outside, look for anything that floats. A large piece of debris, such as a downed tree that you can float on, may save your life. Do not attempt to watch the tsunami. Your curiosity could cost you your life. Stay away from the beach or waterfront. Stay tuned to your local news channels and radio stations for updates after the initial wave. Further waves are likely to follow. Continue to monitor official alerts and advisories. Do not return to coastal areas until authorities have declared it safe. If you are able, assist others in need, especially the elderly, disabled, and families with young children. The difference between safety and tragedy could be measured in seconds. Make every second count. This concludes this emergency alert system message.
Okay, hello everybody, we are back. And we're just about to go over to our eye in the sky, which is hovering over Boston. We've received instructions to alert the crew to evacuate immediately. The tsunami is not only expected to be significantly larger than initially thought, but the gusts of wind it will produce could be deadly, and they can no longer stay airborne as intended. And just very quickly, I'm also hearing reports that the coastline of Maine has already been impacted, so the tsunami has hit American soil. Hello, DJ, are you there?
Yo, what up, man? Where did Sammy B go?
Listen, DJ.
Yo, wait, let me guess. She got you doing the late shift again while she out there living it up, man. She playing your ass like a fiddle.
DJ, please.
Damn.
DJ, listen. You guys need to get out of there right now. It's not safe.
Oh, come on, man. We about to get the most epic footage in human history. And you down there breaking my balls.
Listen, you don't understand. We have been instructed to tell you to get out of there right now. This wave is going to be much bigger than first anticipated, and the gusts of wind it will create could knock you right out of the sky. Get out of there now, you don't have much time.
Listen, man, we up here and we be having a good time. We just about to get into the buffalo chicken dip and open another bottle of Hennessy.
Oh, dear Lord.
Now, don't get me wrong, man, I feel your pain. You've been stuck down there cooped up in that studio like a big human man chicken while we up here living shit up. But there ain't no way we land in this chopper just to be reunited with your miserable ass, Jerry. I'm sorry.
That's lovely, DJ. Thank you. You can't say I didn't try. Forgive me for trying to save your life.
Look, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm a grown-ass man and I got this situation under control.
Nobody has this situation under control. There's a 1,000-foot wave barreling towards the coast at over 700 miles an hour.
Yo, that be life, man.
Where's the pilot? Can I please talk to the pilot?
Unfortunately, he didn't make it past the 7th round of shots and he's laid out on the floor face down in his own vomit. But your boy DJ got this and I'm handling the whirly bird just fine.
Oh, dear God. DJ, there's nothing more I can say. I wish you'd listen, but...
Hey, Jerry, have you tried the new honey and barbecue flavored chips? I don't know if they're incredibly good or if I just got a severe case of the munchies.
Probably the latter.
Crispy little motherfuckers be playing tricks on my mind, man.
Somehow I don't think it's the chips. Anyway, DJ, seeing as you're already up there and can't be convinced to leave, what's going on below? Is it still gridlocked?
Yeah, man. Well, most people have just abandoned their vehicles and are now running around with no apparent sense of direction. Evidently, some of them don't even know where the coast is because they running towards the tsunami instead of away from it. But many individuals have also done quite well for themselves and seized this opportunity to showcase their entrepreneurial qualities and criminal activities. I see one dude exiting Walmart with a shopping cart full of stolen property, which he will probably sell to those in need amidst the humanitarian crisis, which is to follow. I see he's got a couple of mops in there, which will definitely come in handy. So much respect to that dude who doing what he can to better himself by taking advantage of the desperation of those around him for financial gain in the midst of what is a very challenging situation.
Okay. Well, we obviously differ on opinions when it comes to the morality of shoplifting, amongst many other things, but
for real.
In terms of the emergency services, the authorities, are they also down below helping with efforts to evacuate?
Well, Jerry, in typical police fashion, they never there when you need them and always there when you don't.
All right, well, personally, that's not my experience with them.
Well, good for you, Jerry.
But what about the horizon, is there any sign
Yo, hold on, man. I see something. Holy shit. It's here. It's here.
Right, you mean the wave?
No, Jerry, my left nut that went missing back in 97. Yeah, the wave, man. Holy shit. The speed of that.
DJ, listen, at the speed it's traveling, you've got literally seconds from the time you spotted it until the time it hits. Brace yourself.
Oh my God, this is it. This is it.
Losing control. DJ, what's going on? DJ, are you there? DJ, we're going down. DJ, you're not going down. You can do this. Come on, man. Fuck. DJ. DJ. DJ.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
No,
Oh
no.
my god. We lost
DJ.
DJ. We lost DJ.
Has hit Boston and Rhode Island.
Smashed into Boston just this second.
1,500 feet in height and moving at over 700.
Miles an hour has just smashed into Boston, obliterating everything in its path.
Absolute blind panic as this wave surges through the streets, and
in the distance we saw a news crew helicopter battling the elements and spinning out of control before plunging into the wave below and disappearing.
Completely obliterating Boston, and it's now on a collision course with New York where people are